Time for a segment of characters that I just magically spawned from the top of my head. Now, bear this in mind, this is for Instagram, so these are going to be original characters. This is the story of Kinishi. And believe it or not, he is part of the same story as Teo and Nei. For those who really don't know who Teo and Nei are, just go to my TikTok, look for the ones that are entitled The Story of Nei or The Story of Teo. You'll just pick which one you want. Anyways, on to the character. Now, Kinishi is kind of a universal level threat, mid-tier. Now, I haven't gotten to buffing up his story, but he basically starts off as a mortal being who goes missing for a while and ends up spending 10,000 years going through an endless loop of trials in which he fights non-stop. These trials include different realms and rooms in which he clears in an instant. Basically, it's like the infinite looping train episode from Adventure Time. Only the main difference is, this one does have an end. And the gods that basically put him up to it try to fool him into thinking there isn't. He spends exactly 10,000 cosmic years, which is about a decade Earth time in his story, beating the living shit out of any and all demons that are stronger than they usually appear. Eventually, after he reaches the end, he defeats the gods who he defies, and basically rules over the cosmos that they once did. However, strangely enough, if he's outside of his realm, he is by far invulnerable to anything. Whereas if he's in his realm, he is pretty much vulnerable to everything. Now, this is a bit of a problem. Because if he's completely invulnerable, he can't necessarily harm people in a physical standpoint. Unless he were to cover his soul with the gauntlets of eternal punishment, which, by the way, are impossible to wrench off if he is on Earth. Of course, during this time, he decides to magically spawn a few more endless corridors just to continue training so that he can get much stronger. In many ways, he is basically the cosmic judge for the Remoidan dimension. Which means later on in his story, he soon meets up with Teo and Nei. And ends up getting the ever-living crap kicked out of him. But yeah, that's the story of Kinishi. Stay tuned tomorrow for my next character. Love y'all.